insisted on, where ICS was insist on 1 hour window period together with penalty if there is a no-show, which actually we have rejected. I will explain that further in the other slide. Okay, on the 20th of September, we had the third joint task force meeting. Was very fruitful meeting, I can say, where we have agreed to remove penalty time and window condition. So ICS basically they agreed with our demand, and ICS also prepared to move forward for the betterment of the industry. I will share more on the next slide. Okay, the successful objectives which we have achieved with the meeting which we have held. The first I can highlight is the service failure rebate. Okay, so the KPI measurement is 45 minutes. If let's say more than 45 minutes, a waiver of 25% will be given by ICS. So if let's say the amount is 41 ringgit, so we will have the waiver of 10 ringgit and 25 cents per container. If let's say the failure is more than 90 minutes, a full waiver will be given. So you might have a question how this 45 minutes really work. Actually, it works from the queuing time until the truck out. So this will be monitored through geofencing, which later Kagumov Watson will elaborate in detail. So GPS must be registered and integrate with Kagumov. This is a must. And another important point is a booking is mandatory, is a must, and it will be effective on 1st of October. Without the booking, there might be a denial entry to the respective haulier. So please take note, the booking must be done as same as what we are doing for the ODDs currently. Okay, next slide. So the other successful objective that we have achieved is a credit term that ICS willing to give 60 days only for AMH members. Current practice is about 2 weeks to 30 days. So now 60 days is I can say it's a good achievement that we have achieved. The other points that I want to highlight is strictly no washing or repair on trailer. And this has been given commitment by ICS that they will prepare the containers prior to our pickup. That operation hours, they have also mentioned effective 1st of October, they will operate 24 hours. When I say 24 hours, it's round the clock, except for Sunday and public holiday, which they will work only on one shift until 4 p.m. As you all know, currently, they are only operating until 2 a.m. So by having 24 hours, we can actually plan our resources much well. Where I think everyone can agree that currently, if let's say those drivers are coming early for the pickup, we usually give laden pickup only because depots are closed. So with ICS is opening 24 hours, we can pick up early in the morning for movement. So this will be an added advantage. Next. Okay, just highlight on the task force which are taking place. Our task force meeting is held every Monday to discuss any matters on operation. So without fail, we will be moving forward to have every Monday on the meeting, and we welcome members if there is any issue to highlight to us so that we can also discuss in the task force during this meeting to find a solution. So action plan will be monitored weekly from the 1st of October. Since 1st of October is just around the corner, so we will go aggressive for this arrangement. So Kagumov is also a member of the task force, which they are also in here, and they will provide the transparency to achieve this objective. Okay, the last point that I would like to highlight is also, after this, we are looking at payment gateway to be in the long-term objective. This is to help us, I can say overall everyone is looking for not being a collecting agent. So through payment gateway system, we can avoid being a collecting agent. And all these have to take step by step because we cannot go all the points in one shot to get the achievement done. So what I can say, overall, these are the things that we have achieved. And I believe with more cooperation from all the members, we can go far and achieve further bigger achievement. So here ends my presentation and I will pass back this to Azwan. Thank you to all. Azwan, to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Thomas, for the enlightening presentation and your task force work so far. We are so close, but still a lot needs to be done. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome each and every one of you to our virtual webinar this afternoon. More than 60 guests attending this virtual event this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to our next speaker, Mr. Watson from CargoMove. CargoMove system will be the platform to monitor the KPI and claims for these initiatives. Mr. Watson has extensive experience in dealing with IT systems, and his CargoMove system has been successfully managed the system in major ports in Malaysia. Ladies and gentlemen, to present his keynote presentation speech, please welcome Mr. Watson.
Thank you so much, Azwan. Thank you, Mr. Thomas, for the introduction. So I'm so sorry, my colleague Richard is running a little bit late. He's not able to join in. He should be in before when we do the Q&A later. So I'm just gonna, so basically for today's webinar, we're only touching on two things. Number one, so we are looking at the geofencing. So like what Mr. Thomas mentioned earlier, all along the turnaround time that the system has been calculating has been only based on depot GPS in to depot GPS out. We are now extending that to cover leading up to the depot, and this we are doing for the on dock and the off dock as well. So I will later show you how, in the system how we have done this. But basically now for every single transaction that goes to the depot, you will see the queuing time and the turnaround time inside the depot. So I'll show you how this monitoring is done in the system. Then in the second part of my presentation, I'm going to show you this new feature we have built, which is for you to be able to do futile trip and service failure claims from within the system itself. Actually, we touched upon this when we did our previous webinar where we explained about the futile claiming process, how we are trying to make it electronic. So we have come up with the whole process now to show you what we are proposing. Both these features will be 100% live by the end of the month, which is also what the task force had suggested earlier. So any feedback or suggestions or anything you think can be done a bit differently, you please let us know and we'll take it in. Finally, these timestamps of the turnaround time and the queuing time is also going to be part of our reporting. So we'll also show you how you can view your own haulage transactions, queuing or turnaround time from the system. Okay, so I'll quickly share my screen now to show you the what we have done in terms of the extension of the GPS. Give me one moment. Okay, so if you can see my screen now, I'm logged in as administrator, so I can show you basically all the facilities. Let me start off with ICS. So, sorry, it's a bit slow. Okay, so if you, I'm sure you have all seen this before. This is the feature we call as Atlas Pro, where you can see in real time the traffic and your trucks which are inside the specific facilities. So if you see, for example, for ICS, we have, so the blue color box or the light blue blocks is the geofencing of the depot itself. So the perimeter of the depot. And I don't know if it's clear on the web sharing, but if you can see there's a light yellow color line that starts from here. Probably not too visible, but if you can see, there's a yellow line. This yellow line leads up until right after the depot. So any truck that is on this yellow line is considered to be in a queue to go into ICS if they eventually enter ICS. So for example, this blue dot here, this particular truck is, he just finished a transaction at ICS depot and he left the particular depot. So we are now tracking the guys inside, and we're also tracking the ones outside. By taking this data, we're able to show you the queuing time outside the depot as well. So similarly, if I take an on dock, say for example ODD 9, so when you log in, you also see the same thing. And if you can, it may be a bit small. Let me try zooming in. Okay, so if you can see here, there are 20 trucks which are inside ODD 9 right now, and there are 21 trucks which are queuing up on the road trying to enter ODD 9. And that's what we will see on the map as well. Let me zoom out. Okay, so on the map, there's the blue box, which is the ODD 9. Then there is a yellow line, which is the road leading up to the ODD 9. So which is to say, tomorrow when we look at the new turnaround time calculation, as soon as your driver enters this yellow box, all the way until he goes inside, finishes his transaction and comes out, the timer is calculated. So right from here until out of the entire geofencing. And this is how we have done the calculation in the system. So in order to show, so you can see this one is already live. The yellow box, we've already made it live. Any of you, if you log into the CargoMove system now, you will be able to see the yellow box. So how we are using this, just to show you an example of how we are using this, I've opened a few bookings just to explain this to you. Here is a sample booking by a haulier. I've taken a little older data so that it's not, PNC and all that. So here is a booking that was created by a haulier to visit ICS Port Klang to drop off a container. Now, I'm sure you're all familiar with this activity log showing you the steps of what happened. Sorry, hold on. Okay, so this is ICS Port Klang, pickup of a container. So if you see down here, the usual time slot, except there is one additional item to say started queuing. So we now have the booking creation, the acceptance of the booking, the queuing starting time, then the depot entry time, that is when the truck physically entered the depot, the whole transaction of the entry approval, and then at the exit, we record when he came out of the terminal. So using these three timestamps, we are able to calculate the three types of turnaround. The turnaround of the transaction inside the depot only, the time he spent queuing up outside the depot, and then the total, which includes the queuing time and the service time. So in this case, 40 minutes inside the depot, 4 minutes spent outside, so total 44 minutes. And just to make sure that there's transparency across, because I'm sure both sides may dispute this or not agree to it. So we also have a button here for you to click and view exactly what happens. This is like an action replay, which shows you minute to minute what exactly happened along with the timestamp of when we received this. So this data is actually coming from the onboard GPS on the truck, which all of you have already integrated with. So as long as your truck has a working GPS and is integrated with CargoMove, they are able to record this particular information against the booking. So if you take this booking, for example, a normal turnaround calculation would have been 40 minutes. Now we add the 4 more and we tell the depot this one took 44 minutes. I also have an example of one which took a lot longer, just to show you the details. So if you see this booking, for example, again, ICS Port Klang, the truck started queuing outside the depot at 12:32. He entered the depot almost 20 minutes later at 12:51, and then he exited the depot. So if you look at the depot's turnaround time, it's only 34 minutes, but there is an additional 19 minutes that he spent queuing up outside. So again, if I do a playback of this, so you can see that the line where he queued up, then he enters the depot, he does his whole transaction and comes out. So this whatever you're seeing here with this GPS data, we are showing the exact same information to the depot as well. So in the event tomorrow there's a claim or there's a dispute, both sides can view this data. Even LPK has access to view the same data in the event that there is a claim being filed against this for the service failure, which I will explain about in the second half. So this is what we have done with the GPS. I also want to show you, so this guy is still inside, he's still waiting, going around, he's already taken 50 minutes. So if you see down here, there's a timer running, 19th minute he went inside, and then it counts up to 50. He's just constantly waiting for his container. Now, let me take an example of an on dock just to show the same thing working there. Here is okay, so here is a booking that was made for ODD 9. Made for ODD 9. Same thing, the depot's turnaround 24 minutes, but he spent an entire 30 minutes on the road waiting outside the port. Now, this could be because ODD 9 had a queue or because Westport had a jam and there was a queue up, but basically you're able to see both the information. So if I do a GPS replay, you will see how all the time he spent on the yellow, and then he goes inside 30 minutes later. And then the whole transaction, and he exits. Now, for the terminal, since we have data of the GPS, the geofencing of the depot, and we also have the data of the terminal itself, we are also able to show you here the depot's GPS data and also the terminal's GPS data. So for example, in this case, it took him 71 minutes from Westport entry to Westport exit, 30 minutes queuing up outside ODD 9, 24 minutes inside ODD 9. So I can even do a replay of the port turnaround. So this is him right from entering the terminal up to the exit. So entering terminal, queuing up in ODD 9, going into ODD 9, finishing his whole transaction, and then all the way to the out gate. So this, while you have the same data again from your GPS provider in your GPS system, we are basically tying it up against a particular booking to show you exactly what happened. So in this case, you see he actually went to ODD 99 first, did something there, then went to ODD 9 and out. So all this information is available for you to view. I have one last example where, okay, so in the event, let's say there's no queuing. Let's say that the depot is clean, there's no queuing outside, everything is perfect. In that case, we will not have a start queuing time. The start queuing time is only possible when there's actually a queue. If your driver just goes straight inside, you won't have a start queuing. This is a very nice case where he goes in, picks up a container, and comes out within 7 minutes. There's no queuing, nothing. So now we have started adding this GPS info for all the bookings. Before the end of the month, the next 1 week, we will make sure that every booking that is made on CargoMove has this information so that you can use this for the claim process. Okay. Now, about the, so that's about all I wanted to talk about in terms of the GPS and the changes we have done. Now, beyond that, for the claims, so in case tomorrow, let's say you have a truck which went to a depot and got turned around because of a futile fit, or there is a service level understanding with the depot which you feel that they have failed, we have so to show this, I'm going to go into my testing environment. So I'm going to log in as Hollier. So in the CargoMove system, the booking process, all of it remains the same. Against a booking, so if your booking is, these are all test bookings that we made. If your booking has been rejected entry, or you feel that the turnaround was too long, or for any other reason you want to file a claim and get a approval from the depot, we have this option on the right side here called file a claim. Now this will appear for you up to, we have not decided how many days because those are the things that we actually wanted AMH's input for. The industry at large said 5 days from the booking date, the haulier can file a claim. So you have this button here to file a claim. This process is the same as when you buy a product on Shopee or Lazada and you don't like it, you want to file a claim for a refund. It's a very similar process. On the left side, we show you the information about the booking, which driver, what happened, what timestamps and everything. On the right side, you have two options. You can either file a futile trip claim or you can file a service failure claim. And if there are multiple containers in the booking, you choose which containers this particular claim applies to and then provide information. So for example, whatever the driver said, right at 8, whatever. So you fill up all the details of what you want to claim. I mean, your side of the story for the claim, and then submit a claim. Now, as soon as you click submit, the system creates a unique claim number. We make a record of this and we immediately send an email to the depot telling them that haulier A has filed a claim against this particular booking. Please respond to it. So I have a sample of let me check my email again. Okay, so here is the email that went to the depot. Basically, this is us telling the depot that a claim has been filed, please act upon this. Now, the depot, when they, so this is the haulier screen where you see the info of the claim. Now, when the depot logs into the system, let me click that link and log in. So let me log out from here. Okay, so just to show you what happens on the depot side, when the depot logs in and views the claim, so we show them the same details that you saw when you filed the claim, and then we also hold on, opening the booking. Okay, so there is they have an option to view the active claim. So they go into that. So we show them the info that you keyed in as the haulier, and we ask them to respond. Now they have two options. They can either fill in a response and maybe they have something they want to counter respond to you. They can fill it here and respond, or we have a button here for them to approve and honor the claim. So basically they can't do any rejection per se. They can respond to it or they accept the claim. When they accept the claim, we send you an information. We will generate a claim acceptance PDF, which is an e-document with the information about the user who's accepting the claim, their phone number, whatever we have, and then the claim is settled. In the event the claim is not settled, say for example, you say something, they say something, and it goes back and forth, we have a mechanism where either the haulier or the depot can click a button to escalate it to LPK or someone for clarification or for a resolution. Now this, we have not yet finalized how we're going to do that side of the process, but basically as far as the haulier and the depot is concerned, you can use the system to go back and forth. So this can be used for both the futile trip and also for the service level failures, if there are any in the process. So this is about all that I wanted to share with you about the claims. Now, finally, coming back to the last thing in the list, which is the reports. Now, as you all know, we send you the daily, every morning, we send you an email automated from the system with the performance of the previous day. So these waiting time also will start appearing on the same email so that you can view if in case one of your drivers waits for more than 15 minutes or if the turnaround time is too long, we will mention it on the email that is being sent to you. Apart from that, when you download booking info, so when you go to the download option, my network is back. Okay. So when you go down here, so the usual things that you've seen, we have also added the queuing time as one more metric. We also have the turnaround inclusive of booking. So if you want to know for each and every booking, how many minutes was spent queuing up, how many minutes was spent overall and turnaround, you can also generate that from the spreadsheet as an additional feature. This is about all I wanted to present to you this evening. Azwan?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you very much to Mr. Watson on his presentation earlier. To all our guests this evening, ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you very much for joining us today. More than 70 participants have joining us this evening. Thank you again for your undivided support. And now we are almost at the end of our virtual event this evening. So earlier on, I did mention if you have any question, please submit them to Ms. Mira. And currently, we do not have any question at this moment. So we're gonna proceed to the ending of this webinar. And then if you for those for maybe you have a question afterwards, you may forward your question to the secretary office and we will answer your question later on. For your information, before we end this event of AMH webinar, okay, we have a question from Mr. Su. Mr. Su would like to have Kagomove to show the real-time traffic of the depot. Mr. Watson, can you elaborate on this question from Mr. Su?
Sure. I can. Azwan, you may have to stop sharing so I can show this. Okay, let me do this. Okay, so sorry, I probably should have gone into a little more detail about this. So here's whatever you will see as a haulier is the same as what I'm showing you here. So we show you for the individual depots, whether it's on dock or off dock, even if they don't use the Kagomove system, we still show you the count of how many trucks are inside that particular facility right now and how many trucks are queuing up outside that facility. So for example, if I take ICS, right now they have 9 trucks inside. So let me click on it. Okay, so let me zoom in a bit. Okay, so this shows the 9 trucks that are inside. Now, when you log in as a haulier, you may not see the green color. You will see them all grayed out except for your own trucks. So, for example, if you log in as Swift, you will see all the SW trucks showing up in red or green color. The rest of them will just be gray, and you can click on any of your own trucks to also view the booking or the information there. So, for example, this guy has already finished his transaction and is on his way out. This one is approved entry inside to pick up a particular container. So this is available for any of you to view on your own to know exactly how long and which trucks are inside the respective facility. Question? Okay. So Mr. Su, to answer the provision, so okay, cancellation of booking, you're free to cancel at any time for the change of a driver, as if it is a on-dock depot. As long as your driver has not entered the terminal, you can change the truck info, trailer info, and the driver info any number of times you want. That is I just go to the system, edit, and change it. Cancellation, you can cancel in no time. If in case your driver has already entered the terminal and an accident over, then you need to come and do the cancellation for you. Off dock, you're welcome to change any number of times as not already approved your entry.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Watson. And of course, thank you for Mr. Su. Okay, we have one more question for Mr. Su. Can the driver check their booking before going to the depot?
Okay, yes, Mr. Su. So those drivers who use the Cargo mobile app, anytime they can open their phone, they can just log in using their IC number, because all the drivers, we already have their IC number and the phone numbers registered. So they can log in using the Cargo mobile app to view which bookings have been made and for what particular time. If you're a company who has a mobile app of your own, which is provided either, an in-house mobile app, or if you have one that's from your haulier system provider, we can integrate with your system so that the Cargo info is also part of your app. Two phones or use two apps. Basically, whatever info is required in terms of the time slot and the booking info, we can feed it back to your system so that they can all view it all in one place. Okay, so queuing up outside, yes. So what we show here as OTW is the people who are queuing up outside. So if you take, for example, okay, so if you take like ICS, for example, has 2 people outside. Jambata Mera has 5 outside. So you can see the in and the on the way, which is the road going into the terminal, going into the depot. So if you see the on dock, it will be a slightly larger number. So for example, ODD 9 has 33 people inside, 29 who are queuing up outside to enter ODD 9. So you can see both this information. Judy, time. Okay, no. So okay, so about the cutoff to cancel, we don't have any such cutoff. You're even allowed to cancel after the time slot is over. If for any reason you want to cancel, if you don't, okay. So in case you don't cancel the booking, if for any reason you're not able to cancel the booking ahead of time and the day runs out, the system will auto cancel it for you and say that it's a no-show. Slot changing, we do not allow. The simple reason being, if we allow the time slot to be changed, we feel that a lot of people may pick up slots which they don't actually end up using. To prevent the some hauliers from booking all the slots, we insist that we only book 1 slot per driver and so on. So the time slot cannot be changed. However, you're welcome to cancel the booking and replan with a different time slot, provided that time slot is available. Sorry, ma'am. Mrs. Zoe, I'm not sure what you mean by provide the accurate info. Can you please clarify on that? Can we have the, okay, Mr. Su, the no-show report, yes, we are actually we generate the no-show report every week and share it with LPK. We can also give it to AMH. There's absolutely no problem with sharing the no-show report. So we actually divided by haulage company and by depot to tell you which are the companies, how many total transactions, of which how many became no-show. And we also have a similar report for the window adherence. If someone books from say 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock, are they 2 hours later or are they coming completely in the evening? We have a report for that as well that we can share. If depot confirm. Okay. Okay. So, Zoe, I agree. They've also heard the same thing about them auto accepting and then not doing it. Unfortunately, this is beyond our scope. We take the booking info, give it to them, and give them the 60 minutes to approve or reject. If they don't do it, or if they do it later, it's beyond our scope to control or even look at this. Mr. Su, yes. So some of the depots do. Some of the depots even put announcements out when there's a redirect or a diversion to the CY or any changes they do, but not all of them, which is something that the depots probably have to start doing. We have a feature for them to send announcement. We also have a feature for them to specify for a particular booking, to, if they reject, to specify exactly why they are rejecting, so that the haulier knows what to do about the transaction. But yeah, not all of them.
Okay, Mr. Wasan, sorry
Yes.
to interrupt, because I think we are here not to discuss the other matters than the one that we wanted to discuss here today. Any other question related to the system that we're going to implement regarding this KPI link BTC? If not, then maybe we can move forward. All right, thank you very much, Mr. Watson, and of course, thank you for those who you have sent the question. For your information, ladies and gentlemen, if you just join in or joining in since earlier on, your question, if your question maybe you don't have enough time to get your question sent to Ms. Mira, you can send it later, then we can answer your question later. Before we end this event, I would like to invite Mr. Su for this event closing remark. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Su.
Okay, good evening, everybody. Thank you to Mr. Thomas, VP of AMH. Thank you to Mr. Watson from Cargo Move, give us such a detailed explanation how the system works. Thank you, Mr. Azwan, to be the MC today, and he's our exec secretary of AMH. Thank you, Mr. Dominic, to prepare all the presentation. He's our honor secretary. Thank you, Mira, our admin exec from AMH, to helping out these events. And thank you to the team, the AMH and ICS task force led by Thomas. Again, I would like to say something that the ICS depot issue was triggered due to the price increase proposal, and members feel unsatisfied to it. So AMH focused that not only to solve the ICS, but we think after discussion, we should set up some benchmark that we can apply in the whole nationwide haulage and depot industry, rather to just making noise on the price increase. I think the price increase for the past many years has been continued, and in actual, by MYCC law, we are not in any positions to decide other people's pricing, but we just want to treat by the service if the price worth adjust to the value of it. So a discussion was very difficult in the beginning, but end up we set up a mutual benefits objective into it, and we get ICS to participate in. I want to appreciate Thomas and the team, the task force getting ICS agree and work together to achieve the mutual objective for 45 minutes KPI and KPI links DGC payment. And the task force will not stop here. We will move forward by putting this benchmark into all depots in Auckland first. And if can, we want to make it ASAP to make it to whole nationwide. 45 minutes is the maximum we can take it. We will also get authority into it, apart or port authority for central regions, southern region, northern region, all under MOT. We'll get them to be informed, and we hope they are welcome and pushing this together with the industry. Thank you, members, for supporting the event. And I understand there is some dispute and inconvenience that caused by last-minute pull out of the protest. We understand that. However, we think the protest is just actions to take. To achieve the objective is more important than the action. There is some members send some words to Secretary Office showing their unsatisfaction. We fully understand your unsatisfaction, why we do it last minute. Because the last day before the protest, they agree to buy in our idea and to compromise with the 45 minutes KPI link DGC performance. So we think it's good to move forward rather than just arguing. So this is why we call off the protest, and we hope you understand and keep on supporting us. We will move forward to get all the problem done. AMH team is always there. For so long, we never give up to support members operating in the better environments. Thank you very much. Stay safe and all the best to all of us. Thank you. I'll pass you back, Azwan.
Thank you, Mr. Su. And this concluded our AMH webinar today. So I thank you everyone for joining us this evening. And my message to all, stay safe because our fight for COVID is still on. Stay safe and goodbye. Thank you.